And we are continuing to bring you the latest on President Obama's proposed restrictions on the size and scope of financial institutions. Before the break, we heard from Democratic Congressman Paul Kanjorski. Joining us now is Republican Congressman from New Jersey, Scott Garrett. Welcome to you. So this seems like a way in some form of bringing back Glass-Steagall, right?
In a way, but it really was what it's about is bringing back politics to shift from the issue of health care over to the financial services area. Because what we're hearing from the White House is just a brand new proposal when we thought we had already heard from the administration back in the spring and the summer as what the solution is to the problem. So I think it's more about politics and less about substance in this proposal coming out of the White House right now.
Fair point. You know, you had health care over here and financial reform regulation over here. So really, you know, two key things on the agenda for many, many months right now.
Right.
You know, sticking with the financial reform agenda here, though, isn't it a good thing at the end of the day to reduce the amount of risk banks can take? Wasn't that really at the heart of what led to the financial crisis in the first place?
Well, what you really need to do is reduce the amount of uncertainty in the marketplaces, and you can do that by having one plan out there that they stick with and gets through Congress, because as you know, we already had a bill that I think Chairman Frank was with the president on this, but laying out his brand new proposal. Well, Chairman Frank had a proposal, went through the House, went through this committee, went through the House, and that had, from their perspective, ways to try to reduce the risk in the marketplaces as far as size and what have you. You know, Congressman Kanjorski, who was just on before me, had their idea saying, well, we're not going to let them get too big. We'll go in and look at those companies, and if they're too big in our eyes, we'll just dice them and slice them and bring them down to size. So you already had that proposal out there. That's nothing new. What is new is that now all of a sudden they're throwing out just different methodologies to do it, language that we've never seen before. So it's all very disturbing, I think, and goes to the issue of uncertainty for the markets again. So
if you're looking for better transparency, you sounds like this idea of creating a council of regulators.
Well, the Republicans had a proposal that they never listened to from day one, and we said, yeah, we can bring together some certainty as far as a council of regulators, but we don't want to put in the hand of the government the ability to go and look at your corporation and say, you know, for either business or political reasons, we think you're just too big, and we're just going to bring you down to size. So we wouldn't allow the council of regulators to do that the same way the Obama and Barney Frank's proposal would allow them to do. We think that just invests too much power in the hands of basically politicians to start issuing favors to this group or this industry over other industries. And we've already seen that, of course, how they've been able to do that in certain segments of the market already.
You know, Congressman, it's so complicated, right? Because critics, maybe you agree too, right, that some of the larger institutions provided stability by buying up the weaker competitors, but then there's also this problem that firms shouldn't be too big to fail. So how do you avoid playing both ends here?
Well, that's a really good point. For all those who say that we have to go back to day one, back to the old rules and what have you, that you can't have this consolidation, well, they have to take a look to see exactly what this administration, to your point, has done. They basically came in, they would say, these larger institutions to the rescue, if you will, and you've seen such a consolidation occurring over the last year and a half. And that creates a problem for them. It creates a problem as far as what their strategy is on the one hand, and it certainly creates a problem down the road that if we go through this morass or problem again, they've sort of doubled down their bets by allowing those or encouraging those consolidations to occur.
You've been on the record saying passing strong legislation to reform Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac should be at the top of the administration's agenda. So describe for us, if you will, what this legislation should look like.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, we just had a hearing today, had another hearing the other day. Fannie and Freddie is not on it. You just talked about the president proposal of things we need to do immediately. Fannie and Freddie regulation is not on it. You go back to the proposal back in June that they began to roll out. The regulation and the taking care of the GSEs has never been on the proposal. We'll be having a hearing tomorrow, as a matter of fact, with regard to financial pay and exec pay. No discussion whatsoever as far as exec pay over the GSEs. We have laid out proposals from day one to say that the fundamental problem that we're in right now, you can look back to see where the GSEs were at the heart of it, and we need to rein them in. You have to rein in their portfolio size. You have to rein in their ability to their conforming loan limits and the like. We have to look in all those areas. We threw out those proposals. The administration and the chairman in our House and the Senate won't even broach the subject of the GSEs. They will not ever admit that the GSEs were at least part and parcel of the problems that we're facing today.
So where do we go from here as we round out our conversation? What's the end-all be-all solution?
Well, the end-all and be-all solution is to do something that the American public said this past Tuesday, is to try to get some sort of bipartisan discussions going on any of these issues that we're talking about, whether it's health care, like we talked about on Tuesday, or financial services. So far, the administration has closed the door on us on each and every one of these areas. As I said, we had a number of proposals. We would love to have that discussion back in January of last year. Well, it's never too late for them to open the proverbial door and allow us in to say, here are some solutions that will take the uncertainty off of Wall Street and off of businesses, whether it's healthcare or financial services, so businesses know what the game plan is, and the rules are, and they can get investing again. And that's really what we need to have occur.
Representative Scott Garrett, the Republican from New Jersey, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the chance to be with you.